Already? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Exiles, One Portal. I am Mr. Coffee, once again, joined by Casper. Had a very micro brain fart for there. When I said hello, everybody, I couldn't remember what I was supposed to say.
Well, that's what you have to say. Hello.
I know, it was just like, oh, yeah, hold up, my brain. But quick POE 2 news. We got that we're getting a good old 3 week delay.
Yeah.
Uh, I have thoughts. Do you have thoughts?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I do. You want to go first? The honors.
I don't think this is a bad thing. I know it hurts when, for especially people who do have to schedule time off for this. That's huge. That was the one thing when I initially heard it, I was like, "Oh, that doesn't seem so bad." But that's a pretty fucking big impact. But like that's it's not the worst thing. They decided that they don't want people to get frustrated and have their precious stuff get lost because whoever wants to lose MTX, it's something you paid for. It's something everybody paid for.
Well, it's
And
one
I
of the
can
original
understand.
promises too.
Yeah. So I know it sucks, but I am completely okay with them waiting.
Mm.
Hold on.
Um, I'm a little conflicted in some ways because I feel like on one breath he says, "I thought we could do it," but then we was gonna make mistakes. How is that any? It's early access. Like, understand this that what we're talking about here is an early access to Path 2. We're not talking about the full release. The early access is supposed to allow you to make mistakes, experiment, modify, and improve. So why is it that you are hoping to get it perfect right out the gate? That's what because he says it in the recording itself, almost like he stands firm on his own decisions as far as like I know we could do it, but then I know he's gonna make mistakes and I know there's gonna be some blowback. So just so there's no blowback, let's postpone 3 weeks.
Right,
And in
but
my
I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's unnecessary. I think there are gonna be things that show up that until you actually like server load and stuff like that, until you actually put it to the test, you won't know. And I feel like they're gonna postpone 3 weeks, and then on launch you're gonna have a slew of issues.
This, of course, but that's the whole point of it. But I imagine the way that they must be thinking about this is the thing that people have paid for this whole time. That has to be correct. It's one of the first things they fucking promised, and trying to
But this is
update
early access. We're talking about early access here. We're not talking about full
and they
release.
and we're also talking about massive databases of information.
But like he
I'm
said,
pretty sure you don't want to be doing that during the live game,
but he
or
said it
not like at
himself.
all.
He said it himself. We could do it. It's gonna be a little wonky at first. And there's
No,
nothing telling people like, okay, your micro MTX is not gonna be available for the first 2 weeks.
yeah, that would again. That's not fulfilling one of the original promises like immediately.
That's not necessarily true because their original promise that everything would be working on release of the game. And again, this is not release of the game. This is early access. This is beta access basically. This is early access. This is not
Honestly,
release.
I don't like this whole early access argument.
As far
I
as it is, I don't like it either because I don't like the fact that some developers hide behind that early access
Right.
title to get
So
away with
I
incomplete games.
I am much more happy with them being transparent enough to let us know that this is something that they feel they can't fuck up. And I'm not going to tell them, no, have less morals. That we already live in a world where game companies have less morals. I'm not justifying more.
And I'm with you on that. But I guess he's talking about. I guess he's talking out of both sides of his mouth, and that's what it to me feels a little bit like almost like he's protecting his original position and his job while also covering for his bases as well. And I'm not
He
saying
took
I'm not
he
advocating for him
took
to lose his job.
responsibility. He took responsibility directly for it.
Right. I'm not advocating, but he's saying like basically my original idea is still firm, like we could do it, but in the abundance of care, just being careful, let's give us an extra 3 weeks, which I'm fine either way. It's just that eh, I don't feel like it's necessary.
I look at. I've said this many times. If Cyberpunk had decided to wait a year, I know gamers would have been pissed, but they would have gotten edge runners. And the difference of the game that you'd be getting would have not have left such a fucked up taste in everybody's mouth to where people, I'm talking to one by the way, who still haven't gone back to it to fucking experience it because of that fucking original taste in their mouth from that launch.
What are you talking about?
Cyberpunk.
You said you're
And
still
you.
talking. Oh yeah. I'm like, I thought I kind of figured it was me, but I just wanted to make sure. um, I have gone to it twice. I almost went back to of what is it, Liberty, whatever it's called.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I almost
I
went
get
back
that.
until I realized that you had to pay for the DLC, and then I was
Not if
like,
you owned it. Not if you owned the game.
mm, all right,
I'm
let me
pretty
check that then,
sure. I think you. Yeah. If I'm pretty sure if you owned the game, Edge Runners was
because I
free. But then again,
Not Edge Runner,
oh, Phantom
to
Liberty. It's oh
Phantom
yeah,
Liberty.
yeah.
Yeah, when I realized that I
Well,
was paying, I was kind of like, nah, you're not doing this to me.
for look at. All I'm gonna say is, if you really want to link, I have a few directions that you can
No,
hoist up your sale.
that's not the point. No, that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is like I I I was so utterly disgusted by that game's launch and just this first year of just
That's literally proving my point though about
I
POE.
know, no,
I'd
I'm not
rather
saying you're
them
wrong. I'm
get
validating you. I'm not saying you're wrong. That even with Phantom Liberty and everything that all the good scores and everything it got, it was just like the fact that you're not giving this out for free is further spitting on the original people who pre-ordered and ordered the game.
absolutely,
Like it's just like you got the nerve to charge for this. Now again, they
absolutely.
have to make money, right? They have to validate or whatever, pay their shareholders and whatever. But bro,
You see, knowing something is just straight up incomplete and releasing it anyway, to me, feels like more of a dick slap from game companies. Just like, buy this slop. I,
but I'm okay
I,
if you see. I'm okay. I buy McDonald's, right? I buy Wendy's. I buy slop all the time.
I know, but the thing is what you don't. I think what you're kind of like overlooking here is the connection that people have to their MTX, like me, for instance, right? If it weren't for the fact that my portals carry over, understand there'd be a way harder chance of getting me to play PoE 2. May not like a I was not I'm not saying like, oh, that would be the defining factor, but it would be like well, they're gonna start trying fucking charging me for another side instead of microtransact. Like, this is something that the again, it's been said from the beginning. It's something that means something to some of us.
It
Like, I
oh,
think this is really important for them to get down because that's the one system I don't want them to be like, oh well, we couldn't get it to work, but people are already playing, so fuck it. 5 months down the line, we haven't figured out a
But I
fix.
see.
Like,
I have faith in at least in their feedback and their fulfillment of the community's wishes in the past 10 years. I don't believe they are capable of that. At least not for their projects, right? They are very stern. Even if there's something that they're working on, if they can't bring it out, they will continually work on it until they have a finished product too, and to make it to fruition. What I'm referring to is that when you label something as slop versus you don't label it as slop, and then you try to make it seem like it's something that it's not, that's when I get pissed off as a consumer, right? So Cyberpunk was not labeled as slop. Cyberpunk was like AAA game, full release, shit is fire, blue blue blue, GT5 status, you know what I mean, like GTA 5 status, right? It was just amazing piece of work art, right? This is how they were
mm,
selling it. At no point did they say, "Oh, it's early access, it's slop," right? Just tread lightly. I have played slops, bro. You have put me on onto like sloppily slops. And I have
I put
sat there.
slop.
Yeah, yeah. What's the space game called?
That is not slop. Get the fuck out of here.
bro, it's slop. It's slop.
That
But
that is
it's
that is
delicious
not
slop.
slop.
It's like okay, I'm good. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this.
Nah, bro. You know what? You give that. Nah, you give that like a day old sandwich. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
That's not
All right.
that's not slop. Slop has no love. It's literally like imagine, right? So like imagine back in the prison days when they needed to still keep you alive but don't have time to like cut up everything. They just mix everything to a
Well,
fucking
I
meat
think of
flurry.
things that can.
Blah.
I'll categorize anything that is not Michelin star as slop.
No, that's just being
But
disingenuous
just for the
because
just for the sake of the argument here, I'm not like if in the gaming world is either something that is AAA or something that is either regular or um indie, right? And just because something is indie don't mean it's necessarily slop or vice versa. But there's some games out there that they tell you like it's been in development for the last 3 years. You know what I mean? They only updates once every
right,
season. You know what I mean?
but
Like, and it's
calling
rough.
anything that's not gourmet slop is calling everything
Okay,
black and white. It's
okay,
not. It's not.
okay,
It's not black and white.
okay. Fine,
There
fine.
are games that, for instance, right, like for instance, Cyberpunk. We can actually take this. There's pieces of that game from release that were fucking like crazy awesome
It
from
was.
release.
It was. It just wasn't sold as a total package in that manner. It was sold as a finished product, a blow your mind product. And when you get in, don't get me wrong, I beat the game twice. But it was like I was just injecting myself with just pain. Like it was just like I can't believe I'm still playing this. I can't believe it. But I was so upset at just it was to the point where I don't want to go back. I don't even want to relive the trauma. I don't want to like just. And I know the game is great. I've seen videos of it. I've seen the mods now. I think the game is great. I just can't do it to myself. I can't do it to myself. And I think all comes down to how it's being how it was originally packaged and sold to us as consumers. And I think from the very beginning, GGG has not sold the game in that way. The game is like, look, it's great. This is what we're doing, but we're taking a lot of risk. It's a lot different, right? I hope you like it, but it's early
Okay,
access.
so I would like to tell you why I think this needs to be set. This needs to be set before people start playing it because I'm pretty sure people are going to be buying new MTX. They're already trying to move huge data sets, trying to do that with people on servers and trying to
And
roll
consoles
back.
too, which
Like,
I find ironic that they're trying to do consoles as well.
so I honestly think that it is just a better idea for them to take the couple weeks to get this problem straight so that it probably it cost if they were to continue the launch, right?
Hmm.
And this ends up being a problem, which they knew it was going to be.
They would have to reset
They
the launch. and do it again.
Not even resetting the launch. Like it costs them development time because now things are changing. There's more variables as people are playing on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is something that saves them frustration and it saves us from frustration from having to deal with something that we have to pay for. Like people like, people show pride in their MTX, man. I
It's
think
like
that like, I
peacocking.
really do. Yeah, like I really do think it's important. I really, really do. I think it's the main reason that so many games that do end up becoming popular have to do something very similar, where skins and way of differentiating yourself within the game is really important.
Yeah. Fair enough. Um, to your point, I think any extra time that they take to improve the overall mechanisms, whether it's gameplay, server loads, data transitions, and all that other stuff, any extra time they take, it's only going to make the user quality and the experience is that much better. So
Yes.
I'm fully on board with that. And again, they're not hiding. They haven't portrayed this to be the Diablo killer. You know what I mean? Like how you would expect a AAA game company to do it with like millions of dollars of ads, like looking crazy looking trailers, you know, insert
Yeah.
whoever the latest pop song is into that trailer. Like, you know what I mean? They're not doing that. They're just saying like, look, this is what we're doing. This is what we're working with. But we need more extra time. I'm fine with it. I'm perfectly fine with this. They're not trying to pull the wool over our eyes. They're not trying to, just take out $60 and just like, all right, well, have fun. Um,
Later, nerd.
yeah, and I think that's an important thing to say for anyone who's disappointed about this. The game is free. Like, you haven't bought anything. Yeah, we're worried about our transactions, our microtransactions going to path two. But again, when we purchased those microtransactions way, way, way back when, at no point did we ever think, oh, this better transfer to the next game.
No, but the fact that it does is kind of important.
I think no. I think once they made that declaration, now everyone's like, bro, you do this, you could be MVP Developer of the Year.
Well, it's one of those things where when you have something that's literally you sell supporter packs every 3 months. For some people, changing up the game in such a drastic way and then being like, okay, none of the shit that you just bought 2 months ago is gonna matter. That's I don't
But
know,
those are
dude. I
supported
think
packs to Path One, though.
right. I understand that, but still, you're asking someone to change over their forever. Dude, there's people that still play RuneScape, bro.
I know, I know some of them. I can't even understand.
But regardless, people get attached to the things that they accrue.
And that's fine. But
This,
there's nothing
I
nothing
no no no. I
happened to
think
Path One.
no, but I think this was an immaculate play.
I
That's the
I
thing,
I
dude.
agree with you.
They removed all reservation of trying and getting attached to the next game.
But this where I'm not sure how to eloquently explain this, but the company doesn't owe you that. It's nice that they're trying, but if ultimately they run into some really big issues that they can't do it because of engine, let's say for example that the game was created on an engine completely opposite and so foreign to what engine is created on now. But it's called Path 2. And they just, if we roll back the history for a few years before they announced Path 2 and all this thing about transferring microtransactions, they don't have to do that because at the end of the day, you've been supporting Path 1's development, and now they're moving to the next chapter in GGG's repertoire.
I don't believe that's true. I believe when you buy a supporter pack, you are supporting grinding gear games.
But there was no Path 2 back when you
No,
people
but
only
do you
support
think that
packs.
you think they weren't working on anything for the past 4 or 5 years?
I
Of
mean,
course they're
they've
working on
always working
stuff.
on something, but until
Right.
they made
And
the
that's
announcement of Path 2, where most of us
you're
never even
supporting their growth.
fathom.
You're supporting their growth. You're directly supporting their growth. That
I
means
guess there's a
future
clarity on
projects.
whether or not their supported packs were officially for just GGGG, or is it more for the support of Path 1. I was always under the understanding that it was you supporting Path 1. Yeah, GGG is the one that makes Path 1, but ultimately you're supporting Path 1.
I
Um,
feel like you're speaking from like what did they call that? Like a Stockholm syndrome person, where they just like the game company has beat the shit out of you so fucking much that you kind of have like a warped view of like things that you own and how those can like should and carry over. Like, dude, think about it. Mass Effect 1, you used to be able to import your character and move over to Mass Effect 2, and then Mass Effect 2 you can import that character. Like, it's something that has in some situations been involved in gaming and should be a bigger staple in a lot of situations, but it's not the case, and it's because that takes effort.
right.
And now when someone is willing to put that effort and they're just like, look, just give us the time, I hey, take it, take
Assassin's
that fucking
Creed, they
time.
tried to do it a few times and then they failed.
Did they? Oh,
The early
can't
ones. The
imagine.
early ones. Like, you was able to transfer some of the memories from the first one into the second one, but then Assassin's Creed just got wonky. So it was
Yeah.
like, you can't keep doing this. But wait, so who made Mass Effect? Was it Activision that made
Activision,
and then
BioWare.
BioWare made Assassin's Creed, correct? Or am I mixing them
I
up?
no, I think Ubisoft made Assassin's Creed,
Yeah, okay, okay, okay. You're right. You're right. So I think there was a bit like, oh, I see what they did, and see if we could do the same thing. Because I
and
remember
I want
playing,
to
I think it
say,
was Assassin's Creed 2, and they had that functionality of like, would you like to load up your Assassin's Creed 1? And I was like, oh, I don't have that.
and I think BioWare, yeah, BioWare made Mass Effect.
But I think you are in an ideal world. In an ideal world, yes. I think keeping our digital properties throughout the lifespan of a company is great. But when you really look at the landscape of gaming and the amount of developers who actually do that kind of stuff,
Yeah, but I don't judge the best of us off of the worst of us. So what they're doing, I feel, is excellent. I don't think 3 weeks is something to piss and moan about on that level about it. I think it's just like, hey, look, they're not pulling a fucking
and
uh
if you do,
they're not
if,
pulling an Activision. It's pushing back Skyrim like another 2 years or some shit. Right? Like
something, what I think I just seen something that something got pushed up a year. It was a game in
pushed back a
development.
year,
Yeah, it was a game. It was a
yeah,
game in development. I'm trying. It's still on top of my tongue. Anyway,
bro.
hopefully.
That shit happens like all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a pretty big game that got pushed back a year in development. I can't remember what it was now, but if it comes to me, I'll.
Like it's one of those things where I don't. I'm okay with 3 weeks. The time, like when I heard, when I hear him opening up and he looks so sad, and I'm like, dude, they just pushed this shit back like 6 months.
Bro, he looked like he got fired.
Right, but in my brain, like the way he looked, I'm like, dude, he just pushed this shit back like 6 months. Like, and then to hear 3 weeks, I was like, oh, like,
Did did you see the way he read off that teleprompter?
or a screen, because
Whatever, whatever. I mean, a teleprompter screen, whatever. He read it for something because you could see
maybe
him reading it. He read it like he's like captured overseas or something.
because dude, I don't know, man. I think the fucking hate mob that could be the internet is fucking definitely something to look apologetic for.
That's like they try to coach him. I was like his fifth run. He's like, bro, you need to sound sadder.
Sadder.
He's like, and uh, and I'm so. I feel like if it was Chris Wilson, he'd be like, bro, well, hey, it is what it is. See you later.
That's crazy.
But yeah, look, I've been saying it that they've been very quiet, v- even eerily quiet with everything going on. And not that I was hoping for something like this, but now I have finally have my confirmation. Maybe it was bias confirmation, but I did get my
Confirmation
confirmation
bias.
of like, oh, that's why it's been quiet so long. I knew it. Ah, but obviously it's
I
just
had when I saw that, I knew that that's where you were going with it.
yeah.
Like,
It is what it
and
is.
I don't. It's just one of those things where I was like, I suppose you're not wrong. Like, it was a little quiet, and they had some like photo leaks a couple days ago. Not even like photo leaks, but like behind the scenes, not leaks.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
They had the Brazilian team, and it's just by now, with it being 2 weeks out, you would see something. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
some pre. Did they mention they were gonna have a live stream with all the content 4 weeks from now? So,
But you know what? It sounds like content wise, they're on track.
and then this begs the question because I brought this up in conversation with you, what, a couple days ago. When the hell is Path One coming out?
I don't know.
Because we was already theorizing like this is gonna be they're gonna be right on top of Path One's release. Now with this
I
being
think
pushed back even further, like, bro, what are we talking
no,
about here? Like, people
because
are
I
really gonna have
think
to take a week vacation to play both games.
maybe.
And for all the, I was gonna say this earlier, for those of you who did take vacation time to play this game and you did, at the very least you're at least early enough that you could rescind it. Pick a hey man, they just canceled my hotel reservation. I'm gonna have to just push it back another 2 weeks. Sorry man, I already changed my airplane tickets. You have enough time. You're within your 2 week window. If,
See, but no,
depending on the company you work for, but
but now you're in the Christmas time.
what's the better what better Christmas than Path Two and Path One?
No, but that's kind of the problem, right? Is because now you have less time because it's Christmas to do family shit.
I mean, I'm one of those, but
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
but
You love them, I understand, but still,
but
it's
I'm gonna
family
be on
shit.
this bitch. I'm gonna pay someone off, even if I have to like feed my son cotton candy so he can just like go to sleep faster.
She's like, ah, fool. Start taking
It's
it to
like,
the fucking
you
park,
want some more
running
cotton candy? He just starts crying on the floor. No, no.
around.
Um, but yeah, but at least we got something. So we have some confirmation. Damn, 3 weeks though. I thought we was gonna have something to play.
I was kind of hopeful to be able to play, but now this kind of gives me more hope that I'll have my system upgrades working by then. So
Oh, word. Do you want to mention anything about that, or just save it
nope,
for the next?
don't even want to talk about it.
All right, maybe we'll mention it when it all is resolved. Um, if you haven't hit a button by now, please hit a button.
Hit a
Um,
button.
we will update and we will post things as things come available. Otherwise, we will not blow up your. I know there's other stuff that other subscribers that you guys have, and we're just trying to be a part of them, not necessarily take over. So hopefully we get some more updates and more preview content and stuff like that, and we'll make whatever content. In the meantime, we'll continue playing some of these odd games that we have: Void Crew, Dark Tide, 40K, everything else. That's pretty much what we're doing. Hopefully you guys are, enjoying your time, enjoying your time off from PAF, and hopefully getting ready for 3 weeks from now. Um, for
Oh no,
PAF 2.
3 weeks from November 15th.
Oh shit!
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might actually be January.
Oh, that's worse. Oh, that's much worse
Kind of,
than.
yeah, yeah, kind of.
Oh
But again,
no. Oh well, what can you do? Spill milk at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Anything
Have a
else,
good night,
guys?
everyone.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Boop boop.